Boris Johnson, who is a very right-wing prime minister, who is taking us out of the European Union, probably with a no deal. You had a Treasury Minister on your programme last week saying we are turbocharging towards no deal. No deal will be a catastrophe for the National Health Service. It'll be a catastrophe for our smooth access to medicines when we import 37 million packs of medicine every month from the EU. It'll be a catastrophe for our economy. We'll lose billions of pounds worth in investment. We've seen in the newspapers today that schools are worried about the supply chain for school dinners. We might not get school dinners in our schools.
Mr. Ashworth.
So that is the big divide in British politics. We don't want division in the Labour Party.
But how are you going to stop no deal? I mean, if you look at the papers this morning, Dominic Cummings and others are absolutely assured of the fact that you've missed the boat in terms of a vote of confidence. If the Labour Party's priority was to stop no deal, why on earth didn't you call the vote before Parliament rose for the summer recess?
There'll be opportunities for us when Parliament returns in September to stop no deal.
Not according to Number 10. They feel that if a vote of confidence were lost, there's a sufficient wiggle room with the Prime Minister's discretion that they could call a general election that would be after. They would call a general election which polling day would be after October the 31st.
Well, let's see what happens in September, because the government will have to bring forward appropriate legislation to prepare for this Brexit no-deal exit that they want. And we will use all the means available to us in Parliament, working across the parties, because we know there are plenty of Tory MPs who want to block no deal as well, particularly a lot of those who Boris Johnson, perhaps rather foolishly in retrospect, sacked from the Cabinet 2 weeks ago. We're working with MPs across the House of Commons, and we will work to stop no deal. Tory ministers are turbocharging towards a no deal. That's what the Treasury Minister said on your programme last Sunday. And I think to push us out of the European Union at the end of October, beginning of November, on a no-deal basis, as we're going into winter, which is always a difficult time for the NHS, is the height of irresponsibility when we know a no-deal Brexit will be disastrous for the NHS. It will put lives at risk. That is the gamble that Boris Johnson is taking this October, November. He is playing with people's lives, and he's playing with the future of the NHS by turbocharging towards a no deal.
We are just about to run out of time, but I just want to be absolutely clear about this. Do you accept that you may have missed the boat in terms of a vote of no confidence? That the time might not be there for a general election to take place before we leave the European Union?
No, I don't accept that. I don't agree with Dominic Cummings' analysis. And by the way, we keep reading about what Dominic Cummings says and doesn't say. We know he said that Tory MPs don't care about the NHS. We've got that on the record. Why doesn't Dominic Cummings just come out and do interviews? Because every newspaper seems to report what he's saying at special advisors meetings in Number 10. You know, this guy is running Downing Street. He wants to take us out of the European Union with a disastrous no deal. He believes Tory MPs don't care about the NHS. I agree with him on that. But I know that an NHS is going to be absolutely catastrophic for the no deal is going to be catastrophic for the NHS, and he's putting patient lives at risk. Boris Johnson is highly irresponsible by refusing to take it off the table.
For the record, we have asked Dominic Cummings if he fancied coming on, but unlike your good self, he refused. Mr. Ashworth, many thanks for joining us on Sunday with Sophie Rich.